Previously on YouTube's The Drawing Dead.
The big blind calls and the limper calls as well, and we see the flop three ways. As far as flops go, this is A1+. Oh boy, what in the hell am I doing?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Alexa, call Hollywood Casino.
Calling Hollywood Casinos mobile.
Hollywood Poker Room, this is...
What up, Put me on every list you have.
Got it.
Alright, see you in a bit. That's how you know you're a reg. When you don't even have to give your name. So I'm on the list. Apparently I'm on all the lists. Now it's time to get up and play some poker. But I gotta shave first. Here we are at Hollywood, and they have finally decided to add electric chargers into the mix. So I'm gonna go ahead and charge my car while I play. So we're here, I'm on the list. I know I'm on the list. Even you know that I'm on the list because you saw me call in. Unfortunately though, I think I'm like 5th on the list for 2-5. So hopefully we can get into a 1-2 game while we wait. Otherwise, we're just gonna be sitting in the background twiddling our thumbs. And that's never fun. So March 1st action soon, hopefully real soon. A 2-5 seat wasn't available when I arrived at the casino, so I decided to play some 1-2 while I waited. This hand, in which I call a $20 OMC open in position with 3-5 of hearts, is pretty much the only notable one. In addition to my call, the small blind comes along too, and we see the flop 3 ways. King 8-4 with 2 spades, but no action on this flop. 9 of diamonds on the turn, and no action on the turn either. The river brings the ace of spades, and still no action. A pretty ho-hum hand, huh? But I almost fell out of my seat when the pre-flop raiser tables his cards.
7 9s.
A set of 9s? Oh, okay. I maybe played 20 minutes at that 1-2 game before moving the 2-5. I was ready for some action. After not picking up a hand for what felt like eternity, this ace-10 offsuit looked like aces to me. I decided to raise it to 25 over 1 limper. An older gentleman calls from the small blind, the big blind calls, the limper calls as well, and 4 of us are off to see the flop. Action on the flop checks over to me, and with top pair on the board like ace-9-7 with 2 hearts, I probably could size up a little bit due to its coordination. As played, however, I bet $60 into 3 people and feel pretty good about it until OMC check raises me to 140. The OMC check raise is a scary, scary maneuver. I look forward to using it in a few years. So far this session, things really aren't going my way. And if any hand can turn it around, well, it probably won't be ace-jack, but that doesn't mean I'm going to fold it. I open the $20 and get the most active player at the table to call me. Heads up to the flop we go. 4 of diamonds, 5 of diamonds, 10 of hearts. Yeah, I completely missed this one, and I check the action over to him. He bets $50, which for him is kind of like a check. I have 2 overs and a lot of fantasy backdoor everythings, so I make a really speculative call. The 8 of clubs does absolutely nothing for my hand, and I check it over to him again. This time, I take his $65 bet seriously, and I just let this one go. This session is really starting to feel like an eternity. I can't pick up hands, and when I do pick up hands, nothing comes out of them. All I need is like 1 or 2 hands. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. I'm drowning over here. Please, poker gods, hear my cries. I won't ask for anything ever again.
By the power of the... By the power of Grayskull.
I don't like it, Faker, and I like you even less.
Awesome. Now that I have the ear of the poker gods, things are going to start going my way, starting with these pocket threes. Sure, there's a $10 button straddle, and yes, someone has raised the straddle to 30, but I have pocket threes, and the gods on my side. I pretty much have a set already. Now we just have to wait for the button to act, see the flop, get my set, and collect the money. Wait a second. 140 more with pocket threes? I'll catch you later, poker gods. I'm stuck and I'm frustrated and I decided, you know what?
And I just decided, I don't care about the money. I'm just going to outplay the guy. I'm just going to outplay this guy this hand.
2 limpers to me and I decide to make it 30. The active player that we met before when I had ace-jack offsuit calls and the remaining limper folds. That leaves 2 of us to see this flop. King, queen, jack with 2 clubs. Realistically, this shouldn't hit an under-the-gun limp calling range very often. Then again, I don't have an under-the-gun limp calling range. He checks it over to me and I bet 55 and I'm thinking, that should pretty much do it. It doesn't. He calls and we see a turn card. In a normal hand, I'd be doing some sort of range analysis to figure out if the turn jack of spades actually helped the villain or not. I know the jack of spades changed nothing for me, and I have 0 clue as to what his under-the-gun limping range would be. I also know that he checks it over to me once again, and this time I let loose $105. To his credit, he must have sensed something was wrong because he didn't give up very easily. Eventually, however, he does find the fold and I scoop the pot. And to answer your next question, no, I never showed the bluff. Sometime later, I pick up pocket 9s again. This time, without the limpers, I open it up to 20. No 3-bet, only the button calls, and we see the flop heads up. If you're not lucky enough to flop a set, seeing a raggedy board like ace 7-3 rainbow is perfect. As a pre-flop raiser, I should have many more aces in my range than someone simply calling on the button. There's no need to get crazy here. I bet $25 and that does the trick. The game continues, and in this hand I find myself under the gun. Not my favorite place to play hand, but that quickly changes when I look down at pocket aces, pocket rockets, American Airlines, 2 pips, the bullets, the best hand ever created, the weapons of mass, enough of that. I'm not quite old enough to limp this hand under the gun just yet, so I open to $25. The active player in the cutoff calls, and also a tightish player on the button calls as well. We see the flop 3 ways. Jack 7-5 with 2 spades is a great flop for black aces, as there aren't that many combination of hands played in a typical raised pot that would have outflopped me. I most likely still have the best hand, although I do need to keep an eye on the straight and flush draws coming in, but with the ace of spades blocking flushes, it's not a major concern at this moment. I bet $45 into 2 players, and the cutoff quickly calls. The button thinks about it for a second, and he eventually calls as well. With the flop betting finished, the 3 of us remaining head to the turn. The 5 of hearts on the turn isn't that much of a concern. If I had the best hand on the flop, I should still have the best hand here, as there aren't that many 5x combinations available. Let's see, only ace-5 of diamonds and a random 5-6 or 4-5 suited have improved, and how many of those hands are even calling the flop bet? In the unlikely event that someone does have jack-5 or 7-5, then I'm just behind. I can't live my life worrying about that. I probably should have sized this bet up a little bit and placed it into the $100 to $115 range to get some extra value from jacks. As played, I made it $85 and the cutoff calls, but the player on the button lets it go. Now all I need is a blank river card and I should be able to easily scoop this pot. The jack of clubs is not a blank river card. I went back and forth with this one. My thinking was that since I would probably never check a jack here, I could check and let him bluff missed draws, which this player is more than capable of doing, and potentially pick that off, or I could bet and then fold if I got re-raised. I choose to check because this villain's bluffing frequency can be rather high. And he chooses to bet $200. Action's back on me. Decisions. Mid-session update time Friday night, and what can I say about the game that I'm in? It's not that great. I was hoping for a great game tonight, and tonight's game, not that great. Of the 10 players at the table, I would say probably 7 of them have a clue as to what's going on. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, I just learned how to play this game last night guy. I'm looking for, I just hit a slot machine and I want to go to try to play some poker guy. I don't want to play with the guy that has an under-the-gun raising range. Do you know what I'm saying? But the games can't be great all the time, and sometimes you just have to play with what they give you. Especially here, where 2-5 doesn't go all that often. So currently, I am in the game for a grand, and I might have about a grand in front of me. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Was card dead the first half of the session. Picked up hands the second half of the session and just missed flops. And occasionally I'll pay somebody off when I have pocket aces and they're screaming to me that they have a full house. Oh yeah, I paid him off. And he showed me a jack. Ace jack, actually. But we all knew he had a jack. Not my brightest moment. They have a full house. That'll happen. You guys saw that happen, right? What's wrong with me? That was an easy fold. So right now, we're just going to head back in. We're going to try to finish up this night. Hopefully the game gets better as it gets a little bit later because it's around midnight. But if not, I'm not afraid to just end the night early. Not like midnight is early, but you know what I'm saying. Or maybe I'll just jump into one of the 1-2 games. Those look good. Or maybe I'll go over to Ameristar. They have a 2-5 running. Probably not. But you never know. I'm grown. I can do what the hell I want to do. All right, let's go make it happen. Although not recorded, I did manage to almost double up when me and another player got all the money in the middle on a flop of 6, Jack, 6, Rainbow. I held pocket aces, he held pocket kings, and the turn 6 and the river ace, that was good for me. Back from the mid-session update and recently winning a good-sized pot with pocket aces, I decide to raise it to 40 over an under-the-gun straddle for 10 and 1 limper. A recently added to the table unknown player in the button calls, the under-the-gun straddler calls, and the limpers call. And lo and behold, there was 4 of us seeing this flop. Raising pre-flop with jack high and flopping a jack is always a good sign. The fact that there's a heart on the flop is also a good sign. I bet $100 and only the button calls. Both the straddler and the limper get out of the way. The 5 of spades doesn't change much besides adding a flush draw to the board, but the problem I have now is, my jack can't really beat any other jacks. I execute the super douchey Tom Dwan-esque micro check over to the button to see how he feels about this 5 of spades. Apparently, it gives him $175 of happiness because that's what he bets. The sixth sense in me just doesn't believe him, and I look him up. The river brings a complete brick 6 of diamonds, and both of us quickly check. Remember that thing I said about not being able to beat other jacks? I guess I was wrong.
A raise, 80? 80's the bet.
Further along in the session, with a $10 under the gun straddle and early position open to 50, I look down at this beaut. Everyone knows that 8-6 suited, specifically of diamonds, was made for one reason: to hurt people's feelings really badly and occasionally make them cry. I make the $50 call, the small blind folds, the big blind folds, and the action is back on the straddle.
220.
Because we could go to war.
No.
I'm for real. I'm for real. So you better check yourself.
Well played, Straight Ali. Well played. So we are back home. I called over to Ameristar after leaving Hollywood, and their 2-5 game had just ended. So I just came home. And it also dawned on me on the ride here that I left Hollywood in such a rush, I didn't get to tell you that I was in the 2-5 game for 1,000 and left with 1507. So good night. Now I'm going to bed. But if you like the videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button, give me a like, give me a comment. I will probably respond. And why am I yelling into my kitchen? I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, and happy birthday to that guy. 25 years old. Next time on YouTube's The Drawing Dead. I can't remember the last time I played a session this early.
And say something right.
Not the best session. Not the worst session. I'm not Perseus chasing Medusa up in this bitch. I'm just looking for the games. Poker is still alive and well. I'll tell you that much. Alive and well. There's a couple other players at the table that really aren't playing very much, me being one of them, which isn't the splashy round. Of the 10 players at the table, I would say a good 7 of them have a clue. What's wrong with me? What happened to me there? That was an easy fold. That was an easy fold. I don't want to play with... Here we are. Bum, bum, bum. So we're here. I'm on the list. I already know I'm on the list. Even you know I'm on the list because you saw me call in. Back home. I called over to Ameristar and their 2-5 game ended. So let me give this vlog a proper wrap up. So let me give this vlog a proper wrap up and say. In the 2-5 game for 1,000, out for 1507, and in a 1-2 game before the 2-5 game for 300, and out for 320, 322. So it was a decent night. But now I'm home, and now I'm going to bed. So hey, if you like the vlogs, hit that subscribe icon, leave me a comment, and I will probably respond. And whatever else I tell you guys to do,
Either I'm with you or against you. Format venture, back through the maze I sent ya.